that Tisha B'Av is in 2 days. Zad Hashem, maybe Mashiach will come soon, then we don't have to mourn on Tisha B'Av. But if Chas v'Shalom should be a delay, then Shabbat will be Tisha B'Av, and Sunday we're going to be Motzei Shabbat and Sunday we're going to be fasting. Motzei Shabbat we're going to read from the Megillah that is called Eicha. It was written by Yirmiyahu Navi, and we read that Motzei Shabbat, and we also read that on Sunday. And it's custom for many people, they learn the Megillat Eicha during Tisha B'Av, since we're not allowed to learn Torah during Tisha B'Av, only things that are applicable, things that are tragedies and disasters in our history, different midrashim and so forth. But one of the things we're going to read is we're going to read the Megillah of Eicha. Very interestingly, if you compare Megillat Eicha to Megillat Esther, then in Megillat Esther there's a date and there's a king. And in Eicha there's no dates and no king. And Megillat Eicha applies for both the temples, so it doesn't have a date. But nevertheless, we're going to learn from the Zohar about the Midrash of Eicha. It's just little snippets. It's very small parts. We'll learn today one thing, maybe Shabbat or Sunday we'll learn more. But nevertheless, just so we can have a little bit connection to the destruction of the temple, and of course that we can derive something out of this. So if you want to follow, we are in the Midrash Eicha, page Kuf Yud Aleph, 111, side B, Amud Bet. Again, Midrash Eicha, it's the Zohar on the Midrash Eicha, page 111b, Kuf Yud Aleph Aleph. Before we start the Ma'amar, we have to understand a little introduction that the Ramak, Rabbi Moshe Cordovero, explains, and about what we're going to learn right now. So he explains, "En safek she'abina lo taskim b'mavet mikol hatzdadim." No question here that the bina, the sphere of bina, will allow to have any type of death. Mavet is death, from any side that it comes from. Meaning a side, we know that in the spiritual world, since there's no place, then will be side of Kedusha and the side of Tum'ah, of impurity. But nevertheless, even when it comes to the spiritual tense, there is sides. So one can come and say there's also death from a positive side, from the side of Kedusha, which again, this is not now the time to explain how can death be inside of Kedusha, because death is a negative thing. But nevertheless, it says, the Ramak says that no question here that the Bina will not accept any type of death. Mipnei shi rachamim begimel mekorot. Bina represents mercy, and the mercy that applies in the Sfira of Bina has 3 sources. Ve'ena din Ela mitzad ha'gvura shebalevad. Bina doesn't have any judgments, only that we know that every sfira is included in more sfirot, so there is gvura of Bina. So the only dinim that you can find in Bina, it will be from the side of gvura. Lezeh tate mehashpa'ata migvura el tzad ha'chesed. From there we can see that even Bina that is applying Gvura, it will lean towards the side of Chesed and not to the side of Gvura. U'mishneihem letzad ha'tiferet v'ha'malchut. From both sides of Gvura and Chesed, it would lean into Tiferet and Malchut. Lachen, sevavnu otiyot vav taf leot mem. Therefore, we have switched the letters of Vav and Taf to the letter Mem, mikol b'chinotea, in all its aspects, כדי שלא יהיה אל הבינה שום צד לנטות ולהשפיע רחמים. In order, so the Bina will not have any side to bring a shefa, an abundance, on rachamim. אלא הכל בדין החזק. It's all coming from a very small, strong judgment. I know it's not so clear what I'm saying right now, but it's going to be explained very soon. Meaning, מזרח, מערב, צפון, דרום, these are the 4 corners of the world. North, South, East and West. והוכרחה בינה להשפיע את הדין מכל הבחינות, Now Bina is forced to bring judgment upon the Sfirot beneath it, because we know that the Bina is the top Sfira that gives a Shefa to the rest of the Sfirot. Now it's forced to bring a power of judgment, of dinim. Ki hayu bechet ze daled maasim megunim. Why is that so? Why is the Bina forced to give judgments? Because in the sin that we're about to talk about, which is the sin of Chava, there were 4 acts that were very inappropriate. Shegarmu daled pegamim. These 4 acts that Chava did. Chava is Eve, and she did 4 sins that they did 4 different types of blemishes, of pegamim. The first one is Aleph, Vatere. And she saw the tree. And it says that she saw that the tree is nice to look at. She liked it. It's like walking on Fifth Avenue and seeing a store of Prada or whatever, Givenchy or whatever the names are. All sorts of names of Malachi Kabbalah. And the woman will stop at the window and say to her husband, "Oh wow, look at that nice dress over there. It's only $3,000. And the husband's like, "No, come on, let's go to the restaurant, I'm hungry." So Chava looked at the tree. Ooh, wow. This is the first blemish, the first sin that she looked, and she gave power to the impurity. That's called Vatire, and she saw. Then the second one, she continued to sin, Vatikach, and she took. She took the fruit. That's another part of the sin. First she looked, then she took. Then the third one, Vatochal, and she ate. Third part of the sin, she ate from the fruit. And the last one, Vehosifa lachto, more than all of them, she continued sinning more than the first 3, Vatiten, and she gave it to Adam Arishon. Right? She gave it over. This is the worst of all 3 parts of the sin. Miyad nitorer hamavet, right away she aroused death. It's called mavet. Mavet is death. Midaled tzedadim. She aroused all 4 corners where death can penetrate from, and therefore it brought down this severe sin, this severe judgment of death. She brought death to the world, and with the sin, and that's why we learn right now that the Bina was forced to use judgments. Okay, this is the introduction of the Ramak. He's explaining a little bit what we're about to learn. So again, if you want to join us, page Kuf Yud Aleph Vamud Bet, 111b in the Midrash Eicha. Now it says, Natal Siman Ze, the snake. Now when we're saying the snake in the Gan Eden, we're not talking about some little spaghetti going into Gan Eden. This is not the snake that we're referring to. You say snake, everybody's imagining some snake with a tongue going like that. This is not a snake. Then a snake was the Samech Mem. He was not in a shape of a serpent. He was in a shape of a human. He was speaking. He was intelligent. Later on he was cursed, and he, so to say, got the form of a serpent. But nevertheless, in the beginning, he was like a human being. So he took this siman, this sign, meaning he took the letter mem that is placed in the sphera of Bina, כי רצה שגם הבינה תסכים אל הדין. The snake wanted Bina to agree to the judgments. The snake was very happy with the fact that there should be death in the world. So he wanted Bina to be involved in it, because Bina is the source of blessing. Bina is the source of the shefa, the abundance that goes into the sfirot. And he wanted that also to be impure. If I want now to chas v'shalom poison somebody, what would be better, to poison the cup that he's about to drink from, or to poison the entire pitcher of all the drink in there, that everything already should be chas v'shalom poisoned? And needless to say that if the person switched cups, the source is already infected. So the snake wanted to take the mem, the letter mem that is placed in the sphera of Bina, and to make that affected by the judgment. How did he do that? Im tekabel, if the woman will accept what she has to say, what he has to say. After all, the Nachash came to Chava and he started talking to her, and he manipulated her with his words. So he says, if she accepts what I have to say, good. Im lo tekabel, if she would not accept what I have to say, therefore, vehemshicha bidvarim ad shepatcha baot mem. Then the snake continued. He pulled, so to say, he seduced and tempted the woman, talking about Chava, with words. That's why it says that women da'atan kalot, women can easily be manipulated with words. All you need to tell the woman that she's pretty, she's gorgeous, she has beautiful taste in clothes, you like her outfit. How are you getting the makeup so perfectly aligned? Well, you must be an artist. Well, you know, and so, chas v'shalom, I'm not talking bad about any woman, and I know a lot of ladies say, listen, you're not going to be able to convince me so easy, but the fact is that women like, how do you say, mahmaot, flattering, they like, how do you say, mahma'a, compliments. They like compliments. Women can easily be, so to say, softened by some nice words. So the Nachash knew that Chava can easily be, how you call it, sweet-talked. And he will tell her how pretty she is, and etc. So he seduced her with his words. How did he seduce her? With the letter Mem. Okay. Ve'amra, and she says, Mikol etz hagana chol nochal. She replied, Hashem told us that we can eat from all the trees in the garden. How did she answer the snake? How did she brought a blemish? By answering the snake. The snake came and told her to eat from the tree, and she said, no, but Hashem told us only to eat from all the other trees in the garden. Just the fact that she answered him back, she already gave him power, and that's how she brought the first blemish. The fact that she answered to the snake, right away she damaged in the level of thought. And where is the level of thought placed? Where is it parked? In the Sphira of Bina. Sheba Sod Mem. And the secret of the letter Mem is hidden in the Sphira of Bina. Now if you're looking at what's the concept of the letter Mem? If you're looking at the letter Mem, imagine it in your mind, that it has kind of like an arch, and then it has a base. Now the letter Bet has a very strong base from side to side. Nothing can penetrate from the below. But the Mem has a little opening from below, but on the left side. Opening from below represents that anything from the impure side, the tum'ah, can come in, but specifically from the left side. The left side represents the gvura. So the secret of the letter Mem is that it's open to the left side from the bottom, which is allowing the gvura, the judgments, the dinim to penetrate. Therefore, miyad natal nachash ot Mem, right away the Nachash took the letter Mem, vayasem ota al zar'o asmalit, and he took the letter Mem from Bina and he put it on his left hand. Sha'gvura lashpia sham ledinim. That right away when he put it in the side of gvura, again, these are all metaphorical terms. This is not that he had a hand and he tattooed the Mem on his left hand. Rather, he took the power, the root, the source, the essence of the letter, and he placed it on his left side where it can be fed, or so to say poisoned, from too much dinim, too much judgments. Vehaya mamtin. Now he's like, okay, now let me wait. It's almost like you take a tea bag, you put it in the tea. In the first few seconds, you're not going to get good tea. You have to wait 20 seconds, 30 seconds, maybe a minute. Let the tea kind of brew with the water. So he says, okay, now let me wait. What was he waiting for? Mechake alotiot vav v'taf. He was waiting for her to open her mouth and to pronounce the letters vav and then to pronounce the letter taf. He already took the Mem. And all you need is to get the letters Vav and Taf. We'll make the word Mavet. Mavet means death. or mot, also another way of saying death. And he's waiting. He was waiting to hear it from her mouth. ממתין ומחכה על אותיות ו' ות' לשמוע מפיה. To hear it from her. Saying in other words, he was waiting, מחכה שיחטאו בדיבור, כדי שיפגום אות ו' שבתפארת. He was waiting to Chava to damage her speech. Once there's a sin with your speech, the Samech Mem has control over the letter. That's why we learn so many times that slandering and lying and lashon hara and cheating, cursing, everything that you do with your mouth, why is the sin so severe? Because the second that you use the letters, the holy letters of Lashon Kodesh for something negative, rather something positive, then the Samech Mem has control over the letter. And all he needs to do is take the letters and to form them in whatever words he wants, and he's able to use these words to bring darkness and negativity into the world instead of positivity. I mean, we just learned now with Balak and Bilam. Bilam, he had the letters, but he couldn't perform anything with it. Right? Hashem mixed it. So he took the letters. It's almost like taking now a knife, and chas v'shalom, you want to kill somebody. But the knife can be used to slaughter an animal in a kosher way, and you have a korban, and you can do very good things with that knife. So just imagine, chas v'shalom, a person trying to wave the knife and the hand is going to different directions. Bilam had the power of the letters, but he didn't have any control over them. So the blessing became, the curse became a blessing. The Nachash was waiting for Chava to say something with her mouth, to take control over the letter. All he needed was the letter Vav and the letter Taf. Now once she sinned with speech, it damaged the letter Vav. The letter Vav is placed in Tiferet. If you imagine the Sfirot in your mind, then you have Chochma, Bina and Dat. But if you're looking at the Sfirot, the way the Ramak, the way the many other Kabbalistic interpretation, they explain it, is not Chochma, Bina and Dat, rather Keter, Chochma and Bina. And the letter Mem is placed in Bina. The letter Vav is placed in the Sfira of Tiferet. Now, the Nachash was waiting for Chava to make a sin with her mouth, and then she takes specifically the letter Vav in Tiferet. Vayechat'u b'maseh. Then he was waiting for her to do a sin in her action. If you remember the sins. The first sin was seeing. The second sin was vatikach, and she took. The third sin was eating, and the fourth sin was giving. He was waiting for her to sin with speech, because she answered him back. Hashem told us where you can eat from every tree. Right away he grabbed her letter Vav. Then she made an action. She gave the fruit to Adam HaRishon. Once she damaged the action, then he had control over the letter Taf that was placed in the Sfira of Malchut. Kedei liyot tziruf milat mavet. He wanted to take these letters, to put the letters together, Mem, Vav and Taf. Now he has the power of creating the form of death, of Mavet. Now how is that benefiting him? That he can reflect this Mavet, this death on them. Nachon lifnehem, it puts him in front of them. He wanted the supreme court, so to say, to punish the actions, to punish Chava and Adam for their actions. So he, so to say, took their own sin and threw it against them. So he was waiting for the letters Mem, Vav, and Taf. Mem is in Bina, Vav in Tiferet, and Taf in Malchut, and that was how he's tricky. He's waiting for you to sin so he can use it against you. So you have to be very smart when the Samech Mem, how he comes to attack you. He's the prosecutor, he's the Malach HaMavet, the one who comes to punish. He's everything. You got to be careful. You have to see how he's using yourself against you. And usually, you'll see when is the Samech Mem has control over you, that he presses the wrong button. For him is a good button, for you is the wrong button, and you say something. And then you can't take these words back. And you're like, if I would just not say this thing. Now, once you said it, it's out in the open, now go and fix it. Doesn't matter what you're going to do. You can't fix it, it's already out there. So the Samech Mem always tries us with our mouth, and he's constantly looking to fail us with our mouth, because the damage you do with your mouth is almost irreversible. And how is he going to do that? He gets you out of your focus. If you focus and you are very well aligned, you control your thoughts, you control your speech, you control your action. And Samech Mem knows how to really aggravate you, that you're annoyed and you throw out a word. You throw out a comeback. And that's where he gets you. And usually he will get you in your action, in your speech. You have to be very smart how we talk. Nevertheless, so what did the Samech Mem did here? Hetchil lefatota bidvarav. He wanted her to sin with his mouth, with her mouth, so he started talking to her, also with the mouth. It's very easy to fall into Lashon Hara. All you need to do is to sit with the person that is talking Lashon Hara. Most people are not in the level of saying, excuse me, don't talk to, I don't want. Most people are like, what did you say? Oh, really? Who? Him and her? Oh, really? I don't want to talk Lashon Hara, but you know. Really? What do you know? No. So the Samech Mem wanted Chava to talk, so he started talking to her. Hetchil lefatota bidvarav. He started talking to her. Ad dichtiv, till the point that it says, Vatere haisha. Then the woman, it's talking about Chava, of course, she saw the tree. Ooh, it's like again walking on Fifth Avenue and seeing that Louis Vuitton handbag. Wow, look at those colors. So then she saw it. Vatere haisha beta'ama sagei vatakef. And she not only saw it, she saw it in such a powerful way. It says that the Etz Hadat was like such a temptation to look at it. And we can relate with it because some people, they love art. They would look at a picture and wow, they'll marvel it. Some people like traveling. They'll sit on a mountaintop and see a view, $1 million view, and they'll be shocked from the view. Some people love cars. They walk on the street. They see a Lamborghini. The jaw drops down. Everybody has something that catches their eye and they're hypnotized. Now I'm not talking about other things that you can use your own imagination. What catches our eye and you can't seem to not look at it. How many men, they look at an attractive woman, I can't take my eyes off her. She's just bones and skin and she looks exactly like her, just a different shape. No, but her, wow. So each one, they have their weaknesses. Some people will be jewelry, some people will be cars. But take that, magnify that in a million, the temptation of looking at the tree of knowledge was like, wow. They couldn't control themselves, Adam and Chava, the beauty in it. It was very capturing. So the Chava, she saw the tree, but it was in a very strong, it was a very strong pull. Ki yesh al milot vatere chav haisha. If you're looking at the words vatere haisha, when the woman saw, ta'am, there's a reason here, munach pazar hanemar bechozek. The letters, in the word vatere haisha, there is a ta'am, some reason behind it that was said in a very powerful way. Melamed sheparchu otiyot vav vetaf, the letters vav and the letter taf, that from the word vatere, they jumped out of the word. Now the Torah, when it says something, then you have to also look at the letters. You switch the order of the letters, it will switch completely the meaning. If you remove letters, it will switch the meaning. So it says the letters vav and the letter taf from the word vatere, they parchu, they left. Vesalku, and they went up. Where did they go up to? Litchaber imot mem. They went to connect to the letter mem. Now the letter mem together with vav and taf forms the word mavet. Mavet means death. V'im kol zeh, and with all that, ad shechat'a daled pe'amim. Then not only that, then she sinned another 3 times. First she saw. They have to remember the order. First she saw, then she took, then she ate, then she gave. 4 sins. So, not only that the seeing was the first and severe sin that caused already death, now she added on that another 3 sins. Till she sinned in total 4 times. Now, lo nigmar ha'onesh. The punishment didn't even start, didn't even finish. כי אם יסכימו השבעה מידות מצד הגבורה לעונש, now what happened is that the Nachash aroused a lot of judgments. Oh, look, she sinned. She ate, she took, she gave. Right away, the Nachash goes up to Shamayim and starts prosecuting. Now, the Nachash wanted all 7 midot, Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, Yesod, and Malchut, to arouse the tzad of Gvura of each and every one of them, right away to go in a punishment. After all, the Gvura, when it's aroused in judgment, it will form a punishment. But still, עדיין יש 7 midot מצד החסד, והתפארת והמלכות. The Nachash was trying to arouse the Gvura of all the Sfirot, but nevertheless, wait, don't be so quick to judge. There's still another side of Chesed, and the side of Tiferet and Malchut, and so forth. Therefore, the letter Mem, ve'ot Mem hayta ola v'yoredet, the letter Mem was going up and down through the Sfirot, ve'lo hayta mitchaberet imahem, and she wasn't getting attached to the letters Vav and Taf like the serpent wanted to. Ad shenitpateta Chava, till Chava got seduced. V'havt Vav Tav Arba Zimnin, and she gave the Vav and the Taf 4 times. 4 sins, 4 times she elevated the Vav and the Taf to the world above. V'akifu l'ot Mem le'arba sitrin. Now the Vav and the Taf surrounded the letter Mem to 4 sides: the north, the south, the east, and the west. They surrounded the letter Mem. Dichtiv, as it says, ותיקח מפריו, ותאכל, ותיתן גם לאישה, ותפקחנה. 4 vavs. You're following? They have 4 vavs, 4 tafs. If you go again to the letters, ותיקח, she took the pri, vav and a taf, ותיקח. The second time, ותאכל, vav and a taf, and she ate. Then, ותיתן, vav and taf. Right? And the 4th one, vatipakachna enea, and her eyes got open. So you have 4 times, 4 words that there's a vav and a taf, and it was released from the words. And this vav and the taf went up 4 times. Now the letter mem was surrounded from 4 sides with a vav and a taf. Anywhere the mem will try to run away, it's attached to a vav and a taf. Just imagine, those. How do you call these things you're doing?
Crossword puzzles.
How?
Crossword puzzles?
Crossword puzzle?
Yeah, or Sudoku.
Whatever. Levi, you have them all the time. Just, you have to be very smart with your letters. How you matching the letters. You have to vision the word. And there's different types there. They will ask you a question. You have to vision the word. If it fits sideways, that way. This gives you an idea. The mem was trying to run away, and the vav and taf kept going up. It kept going up. Now the mem was surrounded with vav and taf. Anywhere the mem will turn around will be mavet, 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 mavet. Mavet is death. So we have again vatikach mipirio, and she took from the fruit. Vatochal, and she ate. Vatiten, and she gave to the husband. Vatipakachna eneshtem. Then their eyes got opened, and they saw the damage they did. Ha arba zimnin vav et taf. Here you have these 4 letters, the 4 times of vav and taf, 4 times. Melamed shesivevu leot mem le'arba tzedadin. Teaching that the vav and the taf surrounded the mem on 4 sides. Ve'amem ba'emtza, and the mem was stuck in the middle. Harei ne'esat tziruf mavet bechol sitrin. There you get the combination of the word mavet, death, from all sides. Saying in other words, Kedei shehabina, she sod mem, that the bina, that is the secret of the letter mem, titlabesh bedin, that's what the Samech Mem wanted, that the bina will get dressed into judgment. Bina is not about judgment, bina is about giving. Giving is from more the side of chesed. Judgment is restricting and taking and refraining. The Samech Mem wanted bina to be dressed into gvura. Titlabesh bedin, mikol dalet tzadea, that the bina will be stuck from all 4 corners. If you're surrounded, then you can't go anywhere. If you're surrounded from side left and side right, you can go forward, you can go backwards. If you're surrounded from all sides, you can't move. Now, The letter Mem is surrounded with 4 judgments. Dahainu Vav and Taf, the Vav and the Taf from Tzad HaChesed, from the north, from the south side, it's surrounded with from the Tzad of Chesed. Now you have Vav and Taf coming from Gvura, that's already from the north side. Vav and Taf from the side of Tiferet, this is the east. And Vav and Taf from the side of Malchut, this is the west. 4 sides that the Mem is now blocked. וכאן לא חשיב ותרא שהוא מעשה הראשון בראייה כי אינו פגם כל כך. Here it's saying that the first Vav and Taf, ותרא, doesn't have such a power because that wasn't such a blemish that she saw. That's why you see that the damage was more on Adam. That's why men are more prohibited with ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם. אלא הפגם הרביעי, the worst פגם, the worst damage that affected was ותפקחנה, that their eyes opened. שהוא פגם על מה שנתעכבו בעוון ולא שבו מיד בתשובה. Why is that the worst sin? Because they already took, they already ate, they didn't do tshuva. They had to stop over there. And since they took it to the next level, then their eyes open, then that's already abusing the sin. You already took it. You already looked at it. You already tasted it. Stop. That comes to teach you such a deep and profound message because sometimes you find yourself sinning. And the sin will open up the opportunity to do another sin. And then the same sin even. Because the Yetzer Hara tells you already failed. So party. You already failed once. Just go on with it. But what's the difference if you do tshuva for 1 or for twice or for 5? And that's usually how the Yetzer Hara will tempt you. He will tell you, you already failed. No, go all the way. Anyways, you have to do tshuva. So might as well enjoy yourself. So this comes to teach you that if you fail once, don't let the Yetzer Hara tell you already failed, continue. Say, no, let me stop here. Because the first time, the second time, the third time, maybe Hashem will accept your tshuva. He says, okay, I understood you failed. You're already going another time and another time and another time. Hashem says, come on, you don't have control? Stop it here. So the worst part of the sin was the fact that they continued and continued and continued. And they didn't do tshuva right away. Technically, they should have done tshuva right away. Oh my God, I failed. I took. Hashem says, you don't know to take from the tree. Put it back. You know how many times I'm sure people, they have an issue with stealing, they take, and they're like, what am I doing? And they put it back and they leave. You know, when I was young, I used to like stealing things. I was very fast hands. When I was a teenager, Hashem Yerachem. Me and a friend, we were going to a store, go out of it, half the merchandise is in our pockets. Nobody would know. We were so fast. Right away. So Hashem Yerachem. How much tshuva you need to do for all this, because you don't know who to return what. But nevertheless, so I had a friend, he was a bad influence on me. Everywhere we would go, okay, which store are we attacking? Go into the store. So, and then of course, this is when we were young. Then when you become older, you have it in the system. If you have an approval in your system that it's okay to steal, everything moves. Anything that you see. Shem Erachem. So and then when I became observant, you know, when you have it in your system, you're in a place and you see this beautiful watch, all you need to, and you're out and you have a $10,000 Rolex in your hand, you're very quick, especially you're walking on the beach, you know, it's straight away to the basket. Like, you know, you shop online, you put it in the cart. So when I became observant, you know, sometimes your hands, they just move. You don't have control of your hands. So many times I find myself something with my hand, I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Put it back. Chas v'shalom, Hashem Yerachem. So when you start doing tshuva, you realize the nonsense that you're doing, but you put it back. So can you imagine what a tikkun it is when you take something and a minute later you realize, or a day later, and you put it back? A great tikkun for when you have an issue with stealing. But nevertheless, they could have done tshuva in the first time. They could have done tshuva in the second time. And they went, and they went, and they went. And so this is enough of a lesson to make you realize that you can do tshuva the first, second, third time. You quickly do tshuva. You let too much of it, and you're already losing the momentum. Nevertheless, Kamadat Amar, as it says, Ki Allah mavet bechalonenu. It says that once they already pushed it too long, the death already aroused and affected them. פירוש מפגם המעשים התחתונים עלה מוות לתת כוח לסמך מם. So many, another sin and another sin and another sin. The Samech Mem got already its power. The Mavet, death, came from the Tachtonim, from the world below. And needless to say that it gave him power. And it says it affected their actions. Allah Mavet latet koach lasamech mem. Sheyeh chalon shelano. The power of death came up, gave power to the Samech Mem, that it can serve the Samech Mem to be an opening. You know, all you need sometimes is to give the Samech Mem as an open. That's it. It's like a salesperson. You hear the knock. If you open the door, that's it. The food is in the door already. No, sir, I have a deal for you today. So just don't open the door. So the fact that they did these actions, it gave the Samech Mem just an opening, a window, not even a door, just to put his head in. This is another thing one needs to learn. Don't give the Samech Mem opportunities to peek in. Because he's going to come and tell you, I just want to see what's going on in here. No, I don't want you in. And he's going to tempt you. I don't want anything from you. I just want to peek. Just want to see who's here. So you got to know how to not let the Samech Mem even open. Once you let him in, that's it. You're done. The second that he's in, then you already lost the battle. Nevertheless, he says, what gives the Samech Mem power is our actions. He will go and manipulate us that our actions should be negative. Then he has control over our actions. And he explains, Da Samech Mem Aleph Lamed, this is the Samech Mem, De'ihu Chad Michalonei Shmaya, that he is one of the windows, so to say, of the heavens. Shehem Kochot Shel Ptachim V'Chalonot L'Hamshachat Hashpa'ato. There's different windows in the firmaments. And he knows how to open a window to go in. And he knows how to tempt you to open a window. I mean, now it's the summer. Sometimes you want to get a nice breeze. You open the window, especially here in Tzfat. In the middle of the night, you get a beautiful breeze on your face. But right away comes a few mosquitoes. Attack you like in Pearl Harbor. They just come down. They don't care if you kill them, as long as they get one. Before you know it, you enjoy the breeze, but you have 17 bites here, like you're already. The Samech Mem just waits for you to open a window, and he comes in. You gotta be very careful not to let him open a window. Ve'alda, and for that it says, Mi gever yichyeh v'lo yireh mavet. Who's the man that's going to live and not see death? Because every person after Adam and Chava sinned, everybody will see death. That's why I told you already that it says in a different place in the Zohar that every person that dies, everybody goes up to the heavens through Ma'arat HaMachpelah. Everybody goes there. And in the entrance of Ma'arat HaMachpelah stands a man, and that's Adam HaRishon. And the Zohar says that the person who died comes and says to Adam HaRishon, look at you, because of you, I died now. You brought death to the world, now I have to suffer death. And Adam HaRishon answers, okay, so I did one sin, let's see how many sins you did. And he right away pulls out the record and very quickly says, okay, so I have one sin, you have 17,382 just in the last year. So you got to be very careful. If you visit the entrance of Ma'arat HaMachpelah and you see that man there, say, I'm sorry, you're the right one. Nevertheless, let's just read a little bit because it's going to finish the section. I mean, there's a little bit more here. Actually, we'll maybe finish it another time. But nevertheless, let's just do one more paragraph. It says, Ve'achar kach, right after the sin, miyad shalat ba ve'etil ba zohama. Right after the sin, the Nachash had control over Chava. Right away, he injected this impurity, this zohama, this filth, like a snake, poking his teeth into the skin, injecting the venom. Right away that she sinned, that's it. The Nachash wrapped her around, put his fangs in, and he injected this impurity. It's called Zohamat HaNachash, the impurity of the snake. Vehitil bazohama. Ve'az nachat kuchabrichu lemechemei. Then what happens is, the Kadosh Baruch Hu came down to the world below to see what did now these two little creatures just made. I just put you here for a couple hours. You couldn't wait. Couple hours, you had to already sin. You had to come down to see them, to prove them and to punish them. As it says, "Vayitchabeh ha'adam ve'ishto," as it says that the man and the woman, they hid. They knew already what they did. They were hiding. They didn't figure out that Hashem can see them from all directions, that He has like 17 million cameras from all directions. Doesn't matter where you're going to run, you can ride, but you can't hide. Let's just read one more little part here that we'll see the connection. Tachaze, come and see. Kodem shechato Adam vechava. Before Adam vechava have sinned, Haita hashchina atara al rasheihem. The Shechina, the feminine aspect of the divine, was a crown to the heads of Adam and Chava. Liyot bishvilam shorei al haolam. In their merit and because of them, the Shechina was dwelling on the entire world. Why? Ki en mishkan yoter chashuv lashchina miguf ha'adam. The best and most perfect place for the Shekhinah to dwell is in the body of the human being. If you have the merit for the Shekhinah to shine upon you for a minute, then you can count your blessings. We sin a lot, so the Shekhinah is removed from us. But nevertheless, we do a lot of actions because we want to have the Shekhinah shining on us. So we pray in a minyan, we learn in a minyan, we do many things that the Shekhinah should dwell upon us. How do we know that the best place for the Shekhinah to dwell is in the head of a human being? Because it says in the book of Bereshit, "Vaya'al me'alav Elohim v'chadome," that Vaya'al me'alav, and Hashem ascended above him, Elokim. And so we understand that the feminine aspect of the divine, the Shekhinah, Vaya'al me'alav, it is placed above our heads. That's one of the many reasons why we wear a yarmulke. A yarmulke is not a mitzvah. It doesn't say in the Torah that you have to wear a yarmulke. But I know that my Shekhinah the Shekhinah is above me. So by putting a yarmulke on, I'm making a separation between the Shekhinah and my body. Needless to say, is to remind me that the Shekhinah is constantly hovering above me. And the second that I lie, or I cheat, or I steal, or I do any of the sins, the Shekhinah is removed. So some people, they cover the entire head to make sure that the Shekhinah is constantly dwelling on your head. But kivan shechat'u, since they sinned, kivyachol tash kocha, then the sin weakened the power of the Shekhinah. Vistalkat vela shalitat, and it was removed to above, and she didn't have any more control over the world. Ki nitlabesh haguf shehaya mishchina shel hashchina beklipot. Because the body that was created, it was covered and so to say smeared with the Shekhinah. Now the Shekhinah was pushed away and the body got covered with klipot. Now our body is full of klipa. Specifically, the klipot from the sin. Now who has control over the body? The Samech Mem and his dear wife, Lamed Yud Taf. V'zaya churban mikdash hashchina. That was the destruction of the temple of the Shekhinah. The Shekhinah needs to dwell somewhere. Originally it was dwelling on Adam and Chava. Adam and Chava sinned, the Shekhinah didn't have where to dwell. That's why it was requested right after Matan Torah to build a mikdash, because the body was already damaged. The Shekhinah cannot dwell on the body. Very soon Mashiach is going to come. The Shekhinah is going to dwell on us. We're going to be like projecting light to all directions. Can you imagine the Shekhinah dwelling on your head? Moshe Rabbeinu had the Shekhinah dwelling on his head. He's seeing his godly revelation. So now the body is covered, full of klipot. So the Shekhinah cannot dwell on the body. So it has to be done in a Bet HaMikdash, or in a Mishkan, in a tabernacle. And therefore, v'kuchabrichu share, and the Kadosh Baruch Hu, that he's referred to as the Zir Anpin, the lower parts of the Sfirot, hitchil lekonen, right away the Kadosh Baruch Hu started, so to say, weeping and crying and crying, ve'amar Eicha, and he started saying the words of Eicha, Eicha yashva badad, kri aye ko. What's Eicha? If you read it, Aleph, Yud, Kaf, Hey. Aye, Aleph, Yud, Hey is where, and Kaf and Hey is ko. Where is, it's the letter of Aleph, Yud, and the letters Kaf, Hey. Meaning, where are you? Ayeka. Remember that Kadosh Baruch Hu told Adam and Chava, Ayeka, where are you? Same letters. Eicha and Ayeka is the same letters. Meaning, Ma tihe mina, what's going to be from this Kaf Hey? The Shekhinah is also called Kaf Hey. What's going to be now with the Shekhinah? The man sinned now. Where am I going to put my Shekhinah right now? Shaltuna adu mina, since the power of control was removed, Then now the Kadosh Baruch Hu started mourning and crying. He started saying the words of Eicha. Now one last paragraph. Uf hacha bechurban b'mikdasha. The same exact thing happened again in the destruction of the first temple and the destruction of the second temple. Shultana adu mina. The control of the Shekhinah was removed. The kuchabrichu shar lemisped. Then the Kadosh Baruch Hu started mourning and saying a eulogy for the Shekhinah. Ve'amar Eicha. Again, the Kadosh Baruch Hu started crying. Eicha, od pam, again, the same thing. Again, you destroyed the power of what was able to hold the Shekhinah, and again, now what's going to be with the Shekhinah. And again, Eicha, is the words, Ayeh, Kafei, what's going to be with the Shekhinah? Ma teheh aliyah, what's going to be now the solution with the Shekhinah that is called Kafei. The Shekhinah is also called Ko, Kafei. The next is a different ma'amar. We're going to leave it over here, but we have to understand that when we're going to read Eicha on Tisha B'Av, why do we read Eicha? Because that's the words of that Hashem said when the first destruction came, when Adam and Chava, they were the terminal, they were the base that the Shekhinah was dwelling on them, and they damaged it. So the Shekhinah was removed. It says, Ikar Shekhinah B'Tachtonim, in the beginning the Shekhinah was in Gan Eden on Adam and Chava. They sinned, they pushed the Shekhinah l'Rakia, Me'aretz l'Rakia. They pushed it from the earth to the first firmament. Then came the next sin and the third sin and the fourth sin with the Dor HaFlaga and the flood, etc. They pushed the Shekhinah from one firmament to another firmament till it reached to the seventh Rakia, to the seventh firmament. Came Avraham Avinu. After 10 generations, he started pulling the Shekhinah from the seventh firmament to the sixth firmament. Then all the Shiv'a Roim, they started pulling it down. Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and then Yosef. Then came Moshe Rabbeinu. He went up to the mountain. The top of the mountain represents the first firmament, and he brought the Shekhinah back down into the world with the giving of the Torah. A little bit later, was the sin again of the golden calf, and again the Shekhinah was removed. So when the Shekhinah was removed the first time, Kadosh Baruch Hu was saying a eulogy. He was reading words of mourning. That's Eicha. Then the second time with the first Bet HaMikdash, and third time with the third Bet HaMikdash. So we take on that on Tisha B'Av, when we're commemorating the destructions of the temples, we also have to have in mind the destruction of the fact that Adam and Chava sinned, that everything that we do is a rectification for their sin. And we saying the same words of eulogy that Hashem said with the destruction of the Bet HaMikdash, we're saying it too. Therefore, Motzei Shabbat, I hope Mashiach will come tonight or tomorrow. And if Chas v'Shalom he chooses not to come, then Motzei Shabbat, we're going to have to say Eicha. You have to have in mind, why are we saying Eicha? What's the words? The words are very not clear, by the way. And I'm sure there's some type of a translation, maybe there's a good translation. They're very poetic words and they're not so clear. But nevertheless, we sit on the floor, we behave like mourners, we wear shoes that are not leather, we're on the floor, some people put ashes on their head, and we read it to relate with the pain that Hashem is going through. So we can maybe get a little bit of common sense to understand that it's because of us. The Shekhinah is not here because of us. Because I lie and I cheat and I slander and I steal and I do everything against the Torah. Nachon, we do a lot of mitzvot, that's very nice of us, but simultaneously I also do a lot of sins. So I have to take responsibility. I can't come and say, oh no, it's him. No, I have to say, I also lie, I also cheat, I also say Lashon Hara, I also do all sorts of things, and because of me, the Shekhinah is in Galut. I have to take responsibility, and if I'm not going to take responsibility, then how am I going to rectify my actions? So Bezrat Hashem should have a lot of mercy on us, that Mashiach should come as soon as possible. And if Chas v'Shalom, it still has to be delayed a little bit, then you have to understand why we commemorating Tisha B'Av. It's not to torture you to just be on a diet for 24 hours. It's for you to understand that the same way that we sin, our forefathers have sinned, all the way back to Adam and Chava, but it's in our hands to change it. Just to say, okay, the damage already is done, let's forget about it, that's not going to change anything. Rather to understand, I have power in my hand, and change it. B'ezrat Hashem, I hope that we're not going to have to be reading Eicha, but if Chas v'Shalom we do, at least we have a little bit of understanding, where is it coming from? Why it was the words of the prophets, Yirmiyahu, who brought it down, because he was so to say, bringing down the words of Hashem. That's what Hashem said when He came down to Gan Eden and saw the destruction of Adam and Chava. And the same thing with Bet HaMikdash, the first one and the second one. Ezrat Hashem, I hope with our actions that we can get our actions a little bit together, so we can actually refine a little bit the world, so we can cause some pleasure to the Kadosh Baruch Hu, that the Shekhinah can dwell again in this world, so we can benefit from seeing the Shekhinah. And needless to say, the Shekhinah is in exile because of us. Galu le'edom Shekhinah imahem. We went to exile, we took the Shekhinah with us. So we have to arouse some mercy on the Shekhinah, that the fact that I'm suffering, okay, that's one thing. The Shekhinah is now suffering because of my actions. So hopefully this day is going to arouse in us some common sense. People always wish each other should have a meaningful fast. The meaningful fast is that you actually take to consideration you take some time and you're thinking, what can I do to change? You're not going to be busy with cooking. You're not going to be busy with bathing. You're not going to be busy with everything. You're going to be busy with being hungry. So at least think, what can I do? What can I do to change? If you're not focusing on the future and you're just crying on the past, you're not doing anything. You have to cry on the past to teach you what you need to do for the future, and you take on yourself some decisions. What can I do to make sure that the situation is not as bad? So I'll add another half an hour a day for learning Torah. I'll add a few more mitzvot, a few more acts of kindness. I'll make sure that I'm not cheating, slandering, cursing, lashon hara, lying, and hold yourself, because the Shekhinah is suffering. Ezrat Hashem, we should merit to see the Shekhinah very soon with our own eyes. We should merit to see the building of the third Bet HaMikdash. Ezrat Hashem, if chas v'shalom we should pass this Shabbat without Mashiach, then you should have an easy and a very meaningful fast. רבי חנניה בן הקשה אומר, רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לזכות את ישראל, לפיכך הרבה להם תורה ומצוות, שנאמר אדוני חפץ למען צדקו, יגדיל תורה ויאדיר.